Hi love, it's Renee. We're going to do your love reading on you and your significant other. We said you guys have been together about 4 years, so I'm going to do a general reading because I didn't see any questions or anything. I actually have a spread I think I'm going to work with here in a moment when we go to the tarot. I keep seeing like a plus sign. I think it's like a crossroads or a kind of like symbolizing a fork in the road, perhaps. Things overall feel healthy, like just feelings wise. Look at this. Feelings wise, what spirit is giving me. But we'll look here. So I'm kind of pulled towards, we'll just start pulling cards and see what comes up here. Okay. So we're going to go with a few cards here. Looks like some positivity. Have you guys had like a recent change in relationship, heading in a more committed type way? It feels like a lot of things speeding up and going a little bit faster than you expected. See the moon coming up with the strength card here. A lot of energy here about not knowing if you guys will be able to make it through everything that comes your way. It feels like the two of you have gone through, I hit the number three big life events together. And it feels like you guys, came through and supported each other through those. But I get a lot of like, perhaps love languages aren't the same, so I'm not always aware of the feelings that you guys have for each other, not always aware of how he feels for you. Sometimes it seems like you are wanting to have a conversation, like an open conversation with him about the relationship and where it's going, and you get a little nervous about it. Or he'll be like, I don't know, wherever, because, that's just the love language difference, I think, between the two of you. So a lot of the strength that you guys, it feels like you guys have, is kind of like under the surface, hidden. It does feel, I feel like a lot of laughter, I feel a lot of joy, I feel like friendship activities that you guys do together, but then, you're one of those couples that can also split up and do your own thing with your own friends and not have, anger or drama or issues afterwards. Like, we can see many couples can get kind of upset when the other person goes away for an evening out with the girls or whatever, and it feels really healthy here. It feels like a really healthy connection. The Knight of Pentacles, this is where I'm seeing this change in life, and whether it's just happened for the two of you or it's getting ready to come up, there's a definite change, like an offering here. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, which I don't like to just throw this word out and people think of it in the traditional sense, but a proposal of sorts. It feels like marriage proposal, or proposal to move in together, or to go in on a vacation together. Something big, some kind of big offering that shows how you feel towards each other, a big connection. So it definitely feels as though we have some of that energy here of the big change, the big offering. The Temperance card appearing here, especially next to the Eight of Wands. It feels like, you're getting a sense of your world getting knocked off balance. Like you're not really sure how things are going to progress. There's a lot of not being able to see every step of the way. Both of these cards, the Two of Swords and the Moon, are about being able to see some, but not all. Like, some of your senses are heightened, like visually, her eyes are blindfolded, so she's going off of her other senses. Here, the moon is about lighting just parts of the path at a time. So there's a lot here that you're unclear of or unsure of how it's going to progress, because you can't see every single step that's going to come your way. It feels at times that things are stagnant and that they're slow and that it's like a smooth current, and then at other times you're like, wait a second, everything's kind of flying way faster than I thought it was going to, like especially after this change that you guys decide to make. It feels like a lot of things speed up really fast. There's definitely like a fear. It's mind-based fear. The Four of Cups is about, having these beautiful things, a beautiful life in front of you, and you're always thinking about what else there could be, what else, and a lot of times that can come in handy when we're looking at career or purpose, like finding our bigger purpose in life. And then other times we can find that it kind of weighs us down when we're looking, especially when we have cards like the Two of Swords and the Moon appearing, and we have that whole sense of not being able to see everything that's coming up. Definitely get that fear of wanting to know everything that's coming, but not being able to receive it, not being able to see everything. The Six of Pentacles is like a giving and taking kind of relationship. I feel like that's really healthy appearing here for you guys in this reading. Let's see. I was feeling House of Night, Wisdom of House of Night oracle before I started looking at these cards that were appearing for you guys, and maybe I should still pull them. But I was feeling really strong in these cards coming up here from the Everyday Witches Tarot. Ooh, the Strength card comes up again here, like it did in the first part of the reading. So we have, and then we have Risk as your shadow card on the bottom, taking a risk and leaping. So we have Summon, Trapped, Obedience, Growth, Meditation, and Strength. Here I feel a lot of that, and even we have reoccurring visuals, the blindfold, having to rely on other senses. The Strength card coming back up again. So there's a lot here about feeling as though you're being called into another part of your life. Perhaps these are his feelings. Feeling as though, calling into the next chapter of your lives together. And it makes you feel trapped a little bit, and that is some of that too, that Eight of Wands, like that out of control kind of energy can appear here, that summoning and trapped. I get the sense that one of you is asking you know, is that proposal of a big step forward in the relationship. And while the other, you know, I saw love, I saw strength, you know, I see risk, you know, Grove is coming home to someone. While there is a lot of really good feelings here, there's also some, you know, mental fear, some mental worry and stress between the two of you about that next step and what that would mean for you guys. Meditation, I feel as though it's just going to be something that takes a little bit of time. If you hear some grunting in the background, my dog is like rolling around the floor right now. So it's just meditation, taking time, looking inside, not trying to rush things too fast, even though you're going to have that Eight of Wands vibe where everything is flowing super fast, just to kind of slow down and allow yourselves to take in the moments as they come. Moving too fast, demanding things too fast, that may end up causing more issue than positivity. But I feel like things are moving in a good direction for you guys. It just feels like there is a lot of mental stuff going on. I just got the word divorce. You know, I don't know if that is directly related to one of you or a parent, but there's like divorce fear in here somewhere. And it could just be split up fear. Like, you know, if we go in and we buy this, you know, we buy this dog together and we start a little family, and then we split up, what's going to happen with the dog? So a lot of just little fears, and some related to divorce, but risk. It's, you know, the guides are and letting go of the fear. Another card I like to sometimes just open and see where we go. Letting go of the fear, and taking a risk, taking a jump together, a leap. We have the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Justice card, which actually again mirrors this. And it's just so much of not being able to see everything, not wanting to see the entire outcome, and just not being able to. And then the Knight, you know, the Knight of Cups is our most passionate, or not passionate, but heart on the sleeve, loving Knight. Ten of Cups is family, completion, you know, love, starting families. So there's a lot here. There's definitely a lot of big cards coming up for changes for you guys, and it feels very positive. It feels as though a new chapter in your lives coming together. It feels very loving and romantic. It feels as though there's some kind of leap that needs to be taken, some kind of conversation that needs to be had, or jump that needs to be taken together. You know, as with, you know, going into a loving situation, there is always fear. That's like a shark down here. You know, there is always fear. There's, you know, fear that things may not turn out as hoped, as desired. Let's pull a angel guidance card here for you. You know, and it dawns on me, I said I was going to do a spread, and I opened up to one of my romance spreads, and then everything just came up pretty verbally. It downloaded pretty easily from Spirit, feeling all this just information coming through, guidance coming through from Spirit. Okay. And we have Patience, Archangel Jophiel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. It takes time for a seedling to push through the ground and mature into a flower-bearing plant. Yet each moment of a plant's life cycle can bring joy to those who notice its beauty. In the same way, enjoy the process of realizing your, turn the page, dreams. Slow down and feel gratitude as each step brings your manifestation into tangible form. Notice the lessons and love that spring from every moment you engage in acting upon your dreams. So a lot here about, what we were feeling earlier about things seeming to take forever, and then other times speeding really fast. Change is coming up. One of you having to really look a little bit deeper inside and meditate, and to get ready for this change, this shift in your relationship. Sometimes before a positive shift, we may see things getting a little rocky, seeming a little like unpredictable, and then they shift towards the better. But I feel a lot of shift and just continuing to be positive, to speak to each other with loving, caring tones, to really work on keeping throat chakras open with each other, being honest. Relationships can't get anywhere if we're not honest with the other one, and sharing what we want out of the relationship, and what we expect, and how things seem to be moving forward. But I feel like there's a lot of love here, both of you. I feel like sometimes you guys have ups, sometimes you have downs, just like any other relationship. And sometimes those downs come about because the two of you just haven't been expressing with each other what's been going on in your heart or your mind for some time. It's one of the most vulnerable and hardest things to do, is like just share ourselves with someone else, really express what we're feeling. Spirit is just telling you to be vulnerable with each other. Being vulnerable is how we bring down our walls, how we change, and how we bring down those walls so that we can be together in a caring, committed relationship for a long time. And then let's see what Adam Barr, I actually don't know. I couldn't even so this deck is a little new to me, but I wanted to pull a card from here before we closed out. Okay, there we go. Adam Barr, meaning nature man in Hebrew, represents the very first man and how he connected to his surroundings. This card is about new beginnings. In the image, the triangles interact in such a way that the point of one touches the middle base of another. This symbolizes a pattern in the universe where the smallest and the largest are connected at the same point. We can look at many things in life through this pattern. For instance, the present is a small point in our lives, but it is also the largest point since it represents the oldest we've ever been. Wow, that's pretty deep. But I feel that is it's speaking to, when we talk about the moment being the smallest, I feel like that's looking down back at this in the future, these moments where things are changing, and they feel like sometimes they're changing too fast, and they feel like they're out of both your hands. It was really a tiny moment that is making way for big, beautiful changes in your lives. So yeah, and so that has been your love reading, your general love reading for your relationship. I hope you are having a beautiful day, and thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Okay, bye, hun.